I am about to install this rack on my 2017 Chevy Bolt LT. The LT does not come with factory roof rails. And the option that Yakima recommends uses the Yakima Ridgeline Towers, which are similar to the old Q Towers in that they clip here on top of the doors. They clamp right here and you tighten them with some kind of Allen wrench tool. And I'm not going that way because I like to take my rack off when I'm not hauling boats on my car. And I've done that on all my cars just because the gas mileage and the wind noise from the kayak carriers on the rack are annoying, but yeah, it hurts your gas mileage. But I think with an electric car, you especially don't want a bunch of unaerodynamic junk on your car when you're just driving it and not carrying boats. So the advantage of this rack, this is the Yakima Jetstream bar. There's a 60-inch bar, and this is the Skyline Tower, and this is called the landing pad. This is a number 7 landing pad, but it comes off the car in seconds. You move this and then it lifts right off the landing pad. So literally in 3 seconds you can have the rack off your car. So that's why I'm going this route. The drawback to the landing pad number 7 is you have to drill holes in the roof of your car. So I know that sounds terrible, but I've done this to another car I had in the past. I had a Scion XA and I put this roof rack on. I had it for years and I loved it. It was amazing. So yeah, it's hard to drill holes in the roof of your car, but the reason why I'm making this video is I'm going to tell you exactly where I'm putting these towers, and I'm going to take measurements. That way, if I don't have any problems, you won't have any problems either if you're doing this on your car. So how these install is through the use of these things called turn nuts. So it goes through, you drill a hole, the instructions say 25/64, whatever, and then the turn nut goes through the hole, and then just the process of you putting the screw through the turn nut orients the turn nut like this inside the car, and then when you tighten the screw, it pulls this part up against the sheet metal and holds the rack on. So I have put the rack where I wanted it to be, and another advantage to having the LT model and drilling your own holes is you can put the rack on wherever you want. And for carrying sea kayaks, like I have a 14.5-foot sea kayak up there, I want the racks kind of far apart. So the stock location on the Premier model is, I don't know, I think it's like 32 inches apart. Well, I put these 42 inches apart. So it'll carry the kayak a little more stably. So the locations I've put these are the front tower, the front of the landing pad is exactly 10 inches from where the roof ends at the windshield. 10 inches on the front. On the rear, I put it 9¼ inches from the landing pad to where the roof ends, and there's a crack for the hatch. 10 inches in the front, 9¼ in the rear. Alright, I'm going to start marking my holes for drilling. So you might be wondering how I can be so confident to just drill holes in the roof of my car and not hit something important like a wiring harness or some other kind of, or an airbag or some other kind of structural member in here when obviously you can't see what's up there. Well, there is a guy that's converting a DeLorean to electric. His name is Bill Carlson, and he's documenting this conversion on YouTube. And he made a video of the donor car, which is a Chevy Bolt. and he bought a totaled Chevy Bolt, and he was stripping it out. And he stripped out the interior, and I was trying to look at that video to see what might be in the way. Well, I emailed him, and he was nice enough to send me a video of the inside of a stripped out Chevy Bolt, just to make sure there was nothing in the way right there.
Hey there, this is Bill. Just showing you the Chevy Bolt here. So you were saying about putting a roof rack in, and it looks like you're going to be putting it right here on the top. So I just want to try and get this in for you as best I can. So right under here is this big metal bracket, and this is where the oh, you can see, sorry, it's cold. I had to do it when it was cold outside so that the wasp wouldn't get me. So under here, this bolt hole is where the airbag attaches. But you can see there's actually quite a bit of a gap up under here. So yeah, no matter what, if you're putting it in there, you're gonna be completely fine. I wouldn't worry about that at all. Okay, and now I'm gonna get out of here so I don't get stung by a wasp. And then, yeah, same is true up under here as well. There's a nice good sized gap. So you're pretty much not at risk so long as you're just going in, you know, half an inch. Get through the skin and then don't go any further.
That is Bill Carlson on YouTube, and you should watch his videos because he's converting this DeLorean. It's pretty cool. We all know the Bolt is a really cool car anyway, so to have it look cool like a DeLorean, yeah, it's going to be a good conversion. Alright, it's the moment of truth. I'm about to drill into my car, so I want all you folks at home to say a little prayer for me. Alright, here we go. And I just put a little piece of tubing on here just so I don't punch through and hit important stuff in there. This metal right here is quite thin, but the landing pad 7 is fairly big and puts the load over a wide area, so I think it'll be okay. I'm going with it. Oh, I guess I just can't see. Looks hollow. Excellent. I don't see anything in there. That's great. Alright, I'm gonna put this one in. Goes down this. Pivot this way. I'm just gonna pivot it just to be sure. Does bottom out. This one. Just gotta make sure that one pivoted all the way. Alright, just gotta be real easy screwing them in. Okay. So there is a little piece of metal in there that sort of interferes. It doesn't let the turn nut go in all the way. There's a little ledge in there. Can that be seen? Sorry. Yeah. But you can see toward the inside of the car, it ends. So I'm going to see if I can tilt the nut that way. I think that'll work. Looking with the flashlight did help. I'll tilt the nut this way. And if it still hits, I could use the drill bit. Or I'm going to punch. See if I can give myself a little bit of clearance. I don't know what that did. Find out. Not enough. It's so close. There it goes. There. So, does fit. It's just real close. Okay. These two are ready. Oh. Don't forget the washer like I did. Okay. Real easy. All right. All right. I'm happy with that one. All right. I got all 4 landing pads on without too much drama, but those turn nuts are a little bit tricky. With this first one, the problem I had was when I first put the screw in to the turn nut, the threads in the nut were a little bit crunchy, just a little bit, but it has to be smooth because there's not much keeping the turn nut from spinning. So yeah, that was a problem. And all the others, I just ran the bolt through and back out and made sure that the threads in the turn nut were smooth, and then it was pretty smooth sailing after that. But yeah, I was a little nervous after the first one because, you know, to drill holes in your car, there's not a lot of going back on this. But this is what they look like with these covers, aerodynamic covers, when the rack is off. So it will have these nubs on it. Will that affect the aerodynamics of the car? Maybe a little bit, but not nearly as much as with the entire rack on there, like most racks are, where they're not quick release. Here's how long it takes to put on the rack. First, you take off the covers. Set them aside. This is the front. And that's it. Rack is on.